What would you do if you knew that whatever you did, whatever thing that you were working on or waiting on to happen, that it was going to be successful? Would you rush that process or would you be okay knowing that it was all going to work out in your favor? So I have a little secret. I don't like process. I don't. I I don't. It can be so hard to enjoy the process, enjoy the journey, especially when we don't see a clear path in the journey that we're taking. We don't see exactly how it all unfolds. And so we're just walking basically on faith and trusting that it's going to work out. And that can be so hard. In this video, I really want to share some tips and some things that I have learned about what it looks like to start enjoying the process, even when it feels like the process is long or the process is hard and we just want the dang thing to already happen. What do you want to achieve? Maybe you want to make more money, or you want to get a promotion, or you want to get fit, or start a YouTube channel, whatever the case may be. Whatever it is that you're trying to do is going to take some level of process. We have been so conditioned to want things to happen now that it makes process really hard, and I'm guilty of it. I am guilty of wanting things to happen more quickly than sometimes they do. There are so many areas that have natural processes that feel very tangible. Like if you are meeting a potential significant other for the first time, you do not go into that date thinking, all right, tomorrow we're getting married. That is not the ultimate goal. You know that you want to take some time to get a chance to know that person and figure out who they are. If you want to run a marathon, you would not just get up on the day of the marathon and say, okay, I'm going to run a marathon. What we would do is actually get up and we would train several weeks or several months in advance so that we would be prepared to actually do it. We know that if we want to go to college, that's going to be a 4-year process typically. And that feels very tangible, so we're kind of okay with knowing that. If we go to grad school, we know that's going to take maybe another 2 or 4 years, and we're okay with that process. All of these areas, we know that it's going to take some time and that it's going to take some effort and some process, and we're okay with that. But sometimes with those bigger like dreams that we have and things that feel a little bit just out of reach, we are very impatient. There are some things that I have been working to achieve that I have been a little bit discouraged about lately, and I shared that in a previous video. And it's not discouraged because things aren't working out or I feel like I'm not on track to meet my goals. It's none of that, but it's about the fact that process really is just very difficult. I am having to, in some different areas, talk myself off the ledge because it's just this period of waiting and just sticking with the process. Anybody else with me? I am such a type A person where I am a very linear thinker. I like for things to follow a clear and structured path. I like to be able to see exactly where it's going. And I guess that's probably a little bit of a control freak. I have difficulty sometimes when I don't fully see how things are all going to work out, which I'm sure many of you are like that too. But I know that it's through trusting the process that I'm in the best position to be where I'm trying to be, to get to the place where I am trying to go and end up having results that stick. And because I'm super impatient with it, I've had to really take a step back and figure out a way to enjoy this season instead of it being a thing of, okay, I need to get past this so I can get to this next thing. So here are a couple of things that have actually been helping me and that I really hope you find helpful as well. First, I've been focused on being disciplined. I think it's so important to know that the results will come if you just focus on being disciplined. I have had to learn to discipline myself to engage in the sometimes monotonous, sometimes super frustrating tasks, the daily tasks that I don't always want to do in order to see the things that I want to see. So like, I don't always want to get up in the morning and work out, but I know that if I do it, then I'm going to achieve the physical results that I'm desiring. I don't always want to eat vegetables, but you do it. I don't feel like it, but I know that in the process of doing it every single day, even though I don't see the changes immediately, I don't see the changes right now, I know that as I continue to do the work or put in the effort, I will see the changes on the back end. I think of like looking at a child and watching them grow up. You don't see on a day-to-day basis how they are growing. And it's not until maybe you look at a picture from a month ago or several months ago, a year ago, and realize, wow, we don't perceive the things that are happening on a day-to-day basis. Say you're working out every day, because those results don't come on the very next day. I ran a mile today and I don't see any actual changes in my body the next day. It doesn't mean that things aren't happening. It just means that we have to continue with those things every single day so that we can see the results on the back end. I'm working to put the interests of future me ahead of what is most convenient right now and looking forward to that. I've said it before that we cannot depend on motivation to be the thing that keeps us going. Motivation is the thing that really propels you and initiates that desire to change, and you feel really excited about it. But it's that discipline to say, okay, I'm going to keep doing this thing even when I'm not seeing what I want to see. Several days have passed, weeks have passed, and I'm not exactly seeing the results, but I know that as I keep doing it, there are things that are happening on the back end with my body, the back end with my mind, the back end in whatever area that I am working to improve or whatever area that I'm working to change, things are happening, so I have to keep with it. The next thing is to give yourself realistic timelines, but that also are a little bit out of your comfort zone. Oftentimes in life, we desire the quickest way to do something. The quickest way to make money, the quickest way to lose weight, the quickest way to XYZ. However, the problem with the quickest way is that it often leads to problems and to results that don't last. Often when things come quickly to us, we haven't learned why that thing worked out or what to be able to do to continue to make it work. Also, it's very possible that we've done things in a way that is not sustainable for us. And then the other thing is we take it for granted because it came too easily. I often think of like lottery winners who many times will win these huge chunks of money, and then in a few years they end up broke and bankrupt. And you wonder how that happens. It's because they hadn't learned the financial tools to be able to hold on to this money. While it's important to set realistic timelines that are a bit out of our comfort zones, it's also important for those timelines not to be unnecessarily longer than what they need to be. So when I was working on losing a few extra pounds and I knew that I needed a reset and did a 6-week reset, it couldn't be for me okay, I'm just gonna do this and it's gonna take forever, and however long it takes, that's how long it takes. For me, that was not something that was going to work because I knew that if it kept going on, then it would just keep going on. So I needed to set something that was kind of a hard and fast deadline, but not one that was so crazy unattainable. We need those goals to be ones that keep us engaged and keep us motivated, but also keep us disciplined and are not so far out that we don't see an end to them. Another thing that I've tried to do, or that I've been working to do, is find ways to be thankful where I am and for the things that I am learning. Sometimes the progress that we're making is really slow. Sometimes it's fast. Sometimes we see some big jumps in whatever it is that we're trying to do. But oftentimes that progress is slow. And so being thankful for all of the things that I am learning along the way, the things that are helping me to grow and that are helping me to be better as I am walking in this journey. I really like this quote by Thomas Edison when he was working to invent the light bulb. There were a whole bunch of times where it did not work out. And so a reporter came and interviewed him and said, well, what does it feel like to fail 1,000 times? And what he told the reporter was, I didn't fail 1,000 times. I learned 1,000 ways how not to make a light bulb. And I find that so powerful, that perspective so powerful, that all lessons that we learn are valuable and that are useful, and they help us to really grow. They help us to become who we're trying to become. They give us insight into where it is that we're trying to go. And the thing is, we only really fail if we give up. I mean, imagine if Edison had just given up after like the 5th time, which so many of us do, or the 500th time, or the 801st time? What if he had given up? I would be doing this YouTube video in the dark. Okay, probably not really, but you get what I'm saying. So the other thing is, if you find yourself frustrated with the process, unpack why you're frustrated. I think oftentimes we'll find that when we're frustrated about a thing, 9 times out of 10, we will find that it's based on some underlying fear. Fear that it won't work, fear that it will work. What will we do in either direction? And so trying to figure out what is that fear? What is that fear? What am I afraid of? Why am I feeling so frustrated and so anxious with the process? And then once you unpack what that fear is, whether it's failure or a success, then unpack why you have that fear. Is it because it's something new that you have never done before? Is it because it's something that you have tried before and maybe you didn't succeed at it the way you wanted to? Or maybe in some instances, it's that you're going after something that may not necessarily be for you. You have to decide if that's something that is a thing that's for you or not. You will succeed. If you discipline yourself and continue to learn and grow, put in the time, it will happen. And the thing is, you need to first believe that. I think it's in the not believing that success will happen and allowing fear and doubt to creep into our hearts that causes us to give up prematurely and not actually see the end result of the thing that we've been looking to happen. I believe that we're called to use our stories and the things that we've overcome to help others. You'll get to the point where you feel like, wow, I'm living in the thing that I wanted to do. And it'll be helpful for you and others to remember where you started. So enjoy this time. We're so often like children thinking, I can't wait to grow up, but miss the joy of learning how to do things and being present in each phase of the process. And I've been so guilty of it too. I've gotten really discouraged at times. The thing that I have invested so much time into or so much effort into is not happening quickly, or I'm not seeing the results of it quickly. But I've always found that it's in the period of learning and waiting that I have learned the most about myself, and I find myself so appreciative of having gone through that experience. I hope you found this video helpful, and please let me know that I am not alone in struggling with this waiting on the process and following the process. Alrighty guys, I love you, I'm rooting for you, and I want you to know that you are just on time to live the life of your dreams. It's gonna happen. Talk to you soon. Bye.